NFL on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Washington Commanders and the Cleveland Browns. And it comes your way next on Madden NFL 24.
From just off the shores of Lake Erie, EA Sports brings you coverage of the NFL from Cleveland Browns Stadium in downtown Cleveland, Ohio. Straight ahead, we've got a pretty good one on tap here as the Washington Commanders taking on the Cleveland Browns. Happy to be on hand. I'm Brandon Gaudin with Charles Davis. And before we kick, partner, your keys to the game, please.
Well, my keys are on the defensive side of the ball for both teams. And the big one, making sure you avoid giving up the big play. These safeties are going to get tested all game long. Their job, keep the ball in front of them, tackle people, make them run extra plays in order to try and score.
The veteran.
It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Washington Commanders and the Cleveland Browns. And it's coming up next on Madden Football.
Fun times in Cleveland ahead as we join you by the Lakeshore here at Cleveland Browns Stadium. Coming up, we've got what should prove to be a good one as it will be the Washington Commanders taking on the Cleveland Browns. Alongside my broadcast partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and as we look at this matchup, every time there's something different to focus on. So I'll just ask you, what do you see here in this one?
Well, Rembrandt, you've given me a pretty blank canvas to focus on, haven't you?
Yeah.
Where do you think I'm going to go with this?
Oh, secondary?
You know me well, right? In a game like this, it's always about the secondary. Can they handle the passing attack and make a few plays?
Joey Sly, the kicker, stands ready. And off we go from Cleveland. Here's Jakeem Grant from his end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. So here come the Browns for their first drive on offense. They will be led out by their dual-threat quarterback, the veteran from Clemson. It's Deshaun Watson.
I tell you what, when he's on schedule for that week, secondaries take notice because you've got to stay alert back there on every snap. A truly powerful arm, one that's capable of challenging any level of the defense on any given play. That's why so many scouts preach arm talent when preparing for the NFL draft. A quarterback with arm strength to make every throw in the book, he's an asset to have in any offense.
Give him 3 there on the first play of the game, and it's second down.
And if you like defensive football, focus on the defensive end on this play. He does everything exactly right. Reads the play and makes sure he spills it for a small gain.
And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
It's not a huge breakaway run, but if your starting running back finishes the game with averages of 5 or 6 yards per touch, you'll take that every single time.
Just play number 3 here on the opening drive, and it's an early 3rd and 1. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And he goes out right around the 39. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps him on the line. It was just 3rd down and short, but he bit off a little extra.
I would say way more than he could chew, but he chewed up all that yardage in a big way. And that, to me, that was a combination of offensive line, stacked defense, and they handled it. Okay, they got the leverage, they got the blocking angles, and opened up a nice crease. And once you get past that first wave, there's room to run.
And that's just the third play from scrimmage. They wanted to avoid that 3-and-out. They did.
I do think it's fair to say that they were caught off guard a little bit. We decided not to throw it on first down. But give them credit. They recovered in time to deny him the first down yardage. But it's only second and short. So that run is still likely to lead to a new set of downs.
And he'll get it down to the 47 here. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
They did tell us they wanted to establish the ground game early, didn't they?
They did, in a small sample size that we've seen so far, but pretty good return.
Yeah, you got to like that. They've strung together a couple of first downs, established what they wanted, the running game. And guess what? They also got the lead guy running it pretty well, too.
And he'll go down the none before getting this inside the 30. 40 yards rushing for him already. A terrific opening drive on the ground, and it's a first down. A couple of nice carries back-to-back here, establishing the ground game a bit.
Yeah, these aren't bare-bones runs now. I mean, they're getting substantial yardage, the kind of yards you're looking for, right? Let's go ahead and use a cliche. Stay ahead of the change, right? 5 or more yards each time. That's what you're looking for in setting a tone and getting your offensive line going.
Good sign on the opening drive. On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And he'll take it into the end zone for a first touchdown. 26 yards for Nick Chubb. And the Browns get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. A nice run by him. Don't get me wrong. The blocking up front was a thing of beauty.
I think for an opening drive, how about that for an exclamation point? Just what you said. Good blocking, good vision, and he accelerated to the end zone.
Dustin Hopkins on now to add the extra point. It's up and through to make it 7-0 Browns. So that drives 7 plays in length. And Nick Chubb the one to finish it off as he does so with a touchdown run. Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. And they're going to have really good starting field position here as that's taken up close to the 40. So here are the Commanders making their way out. And they will be led out by a man in his sophomore campaign as the quarterback.
And he left North Carolina with most of his school's records, and at one point was thought to be maybe the #1 quarterback in his draft class. He does bring deceptive athleticism and plenty of upside to the table. Add some consistency, and maybe he can really unlock what he can be in the NFL.
Now the first carry here for Robinson. And it's a good acceleration there as he's across midfield to the 48-yard line. First down yardage on the first play of the drive. Give him 14.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
Faking the handoff. Howell. Well, he stays up. Well, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. 2nd and 10, Howell. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Sione Takitaki. The blitz works to perfection as he gets in there to dump it for a loss of 8.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
They need 18 yards here on 3rd down. Howell down to throw it. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
That's a down the distance coach is always talking about trying to avoid, isn't it? I mean, that's 3rd and long. And you just know they're pinning their ears back and coming after him. Sometimes even with extra pressure.
And he knew that. I mean, he knew they were coming. He just fumbled it.
Yeah, he knew it. The offensive line knew it. Everyone did. Yet the pressure was still there, and he ended up coughing it up.
1st and 10, and kind of tipping their hand at running the ball. 3 tight ends are out there. Chubb will get the call, running left. rushing there for Chubb, and a first down as well.
One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, not get loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
They'll run with Chubb. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown. Nick Chubb for the second touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Browns are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Sometimes you get a first and goal and you're back near the 7, 8, 9-yard line and you start thinking, maybe we'll run it here on first down to get half of what we need, so maybe we can have 2 or 3 shots and going for it from closer range. So this is a bonus right here. What a great run to work his way into the end zone.
Hopkins with the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt. Broken tackle. They're going to take this up close to the 40, so really good starting field position. Now Washington going to retake the field for drive number 2. They've been outplayed early, no question. Down 14-0 already as they come up first and 10. They start on the ground with Robinson here. And a 6-yard gain gets them right around the 43. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game? Maybe establish the run. I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. Maybe a little over-anxious in the pocket there. He just didn't look comfortable on that throw.
No, he didn't, because it wasn't his normal fluid delivery. And I think he might have had it right. Wasn't really confident with what he saw downfield and almost felt like he wanted to pull that one back.
Now the throw on third down, knocked away and incomplete.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight on just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up fourth down.
Tress Way on fourth down is sent out to punt. Jakeem Grant deep for Cleveland. This is taken at about the 14. Nice punt, but good work on the return to get back 11 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Browns offense heading back out to take possession. They've got things going their way early. 14-0 lead and the football. First and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And some space here. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. All told, it's an even 30 and a first down.
And it is still early, just the first quarter. But you start prorating the numbers, and we might be in for some history. I mean, that last run puts him over 100 yards already, and we've still got 3 quarters to go.
So the big play moves them all the way across midfield. It's first and 10 from the 45. They run it again with Chubb. And good work there in open space. And he's got this all the way down now to the 32. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays.
When they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. And I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
They'll go left side on the ground with Chubb. And he gets stopped up at the 31 after a gain of maybe a yard. And now timeout is whistled as it appears there's a Brown shaken up on the play. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. From the 31, here's second and 9. Now it's Watson. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
I guess they figured with a guy who is that hot downfield, who knows how to get the ball into the end zone, you throw it up and give him every opportunity, even though that one fell incomplete.
Yeah, he's already been in the end zone multiple times. Tried to target him again deep there, but unsuccessful. Throwing on third down, Watson. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. I think this defense, Charles, realizing the deficit they're facing, they're going to have to step up and make more plays like we just saw there.
Yeah, those are the type of plays that can focus a defense because, as we know, they've had their trouble so far in this one. But they just proved to themselves that they can get to him, and I expect them to continue to bring that type of pressure in order to try and turn around their fortunes.
On fourth down on is Corey Bojorquez to punt. And they won't try and pooch it. It's a fake. And this is incomplete. A huge gamble, and it does not pay off. They fake the punt. It doesn't work out. And Washington will have it on the turnover on downs. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. See if they can do better here on this drive. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Trying to get it to Thomas, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line. So more problems here in this first quarter. Already 2 scores down, and here they give away the football.
And if I'm the head coach, I think it's time to start lighting a fire under some of these guys. Now, you have to do it within your personality. They can't perceive it as fake. But I'd go get after some guys because they don't look ready to play to me. They look flat, uninspired. It's time to get moving.
Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. Now Chubb running right. Stiff-armed him. And he's taken down inside the 30. 156 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and putting the defense back on its heels.
They run again on first down. Chubb. Oh, some strong running. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Browns touchdown. Nick Chubb doing it again with his 3rd touchdown here in the opening quarter. And the Browns have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Well, Charles, what a start here for them in this game. Still in the first quarter, a sizable lead and pitching a shutout on the other side is their defense.
The game plan is certainly in effect, isn't it? Working awfully well the offensive side of the ball. They keep compiling points, and the defense playing with a lot of confidence and shutting them out thus far.
Extra point good by Hopkins, and that makes the score 21-0. Hardly any time taken off the clock there. 2 plays, and they find the end zone for 6 points. So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. And they're going to wind up with pretty good starting field position as they get it up past the 35. The Washington offense set to take over. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on first down. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. Took him 5 tries, but he is able to complete that first pass of the game.
And could you hear the exhale all the way up here? Not just from him, coaching staff, offensive line, receivers. Now he's off the schneid. Can they get him?
There he goes, left side. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. First catch here by McLaurin, and he's got himself a first down.
Well, these guys certainly need something good to go their way because this first quarter has been something of a disaster for them trying to move the ball. But that completion there maybe can get them focused and moving in the right direction.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 37-yard line. Short throw to the tight end Thomas. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and it'll be 2nd down. That was a lightning-fast decision that time. He just caught it and got rid of it.
Because he saw his guy was going to be open immediately. So he took the R, the run, out of the play. He took the O, the option, out of the play, and immediately got to the pass.
And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Williams Garrett. What a play by him. That's going to go to a loss of 13.
He's down, not even a halftime yet. They're not getting much generated offensively. They've got to figure it out.
It's tough because this defense just seems to be playing with so much confidence right now.
They really are. They are on their toes, and they're getting at them.
And on 3rd down, the Browns going to go with a nickel set. And Howe will throw it. And Thomas has it. So the completion gets him just a yard. And that's going to make it 4th down.
Excellent job there defensively. Gave up the underneath to the tight end on 3rd down, and they made sure that they did their job. Got him on the ground and prevented him picking up a 1st down.
Now the former Oklahoma Sooner Tress Way on to punt the football. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. Cleveland offense making their way out. Watson and the Browns now with a 1st and 10. Just shy of the 30. They'll try and start this drive in the air. He's got a man complete. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. 71 yards. And the Browns are able to add on to that lead. It took them a while to get their speedster involved, but they found him downfield there.
And what we've discovered as we've watched games is the speedster doesn't have to have a lot of catches, doesn't have to have volume in order to have a huge impact on the game. His speed scares the heck out of defenses, and other guys can capitalize, but when you finally hit him and he carries it all the way into the end zone, that's what you're paying him for. That big threat that can make big plays on a limited number of catches.
That's how you step on the stage with your first catch. Take it to the house.
Dustin Hopkins set to kick off.
So this not what we expected. 28-0 here in the first as another kickoff is away. And, that's one he's going to want back. A poor kick. It heads straight out of bounds. So now the possession will begin at the 35 after the errant kickoff.
Well, that's certainly one way to avoid a dangerous kick returner, I suppose, but you are giving up extra yardage, that's for sure. Because if you put it out of the end zone, they start at the 25. So at a minimum, you're giving up 10 yards to the offense.
Now Howell. Throw on the run, but that's going to be incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes. But the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
Powell, another throw on 2nd down. That's out wide here for Robinson. That helps the completion percentage, but not much else, and now it's 3rd and 10.
That's a nice job defensively to make sure everyone was accounted for, because ordinarily you pick up the guys downfield, and sometimes you forget about the running back. In this case, they did not, and dropped him for no gain.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. 3rd and long. Why do you call play action?
Yeah, because they're not going to bite defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and their line blocking. But to me, it seems silly.
Yeah, well, they're silly, and it leads to a play-action sack. Here's Tressway now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. Here comes Grant on the return. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Browns set and ready to go on offense. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. 208 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
All right, partner, keep adding up the yardage. My man is off to a big-time start in this one.
Oh, yeah, you know, when these guys get a first-quarter run like that, they're thinking, all right, now I'm going to get a second, third, fourth-quarter run like that, correct?
Have you ever seen a guy have a run like that and feel good about himself and then tap out and want to come out of the game?
No.
No, he wants the ball some more, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
Fights off the defender. How did he stay on his feet? Touchdown, Cleveland. What is going on here? 4 first-quarter touchdowns. Unbelievable. And the Browns have taken a 5-touchdown lead. Boy, missed tackles continuing to plague this defense, and they surrender another big play and a touchdown here.
Yeah, by my count, at least 2 guys had shots at it, maybe even more than that. But this defense, they looked out of sorts all game long. That was definitely not one of their better efforts right there.
On is Hopkins now for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And Nick Chubb the one to finish it off as he does so with a touchdown run. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. And the Washington offense heading out. They've got to be absolutely reeling right now. Couldn't have expected to be down this big, this early. But that's the spot they're in as they come up to try again here. Now a run on first down is not going to get off the ground as they will get him behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 3.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. This first quarter, let's just be frank, it's been a disaster so far offensively.
Yeah, already down multiple scores, and it doesn't appear they can get out of their own way right now.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety.
At this point, I think it's a surprise when he isn't close to being sacked on a passing down. The amount of times he's hit the deck today, I think a lot of us are reading safety before they even took the snap. Simply a merciless pass rush every step of the game, and that rush earns a crowning achievement there.
And remember, following the safety, you give the football up as well, and they free kick it from the 20 now. Returnable for Grant. The Browns drive about to get started. Now a first down throw. Watson letting one fly deep for Cooper. That's caught at the 25. A big play that time for Cleveland. 42 yards. We are in for a good one as we're through one on EA Sports. On to the second from Cleveland. It's the Browns in control of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. for Nick Chubb. Fights through him. And some strong running. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Now they have it first and goal following that gain of 17.
Now this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
And again, it's Chubb. Down at the 2. Broke through first contact, but ultimately stopped shy of the goal line. It's a good pickup of 7 yards, and now they're looking at 2nd and goal.
That's good hard running right there on 1st and goal. That gets them down to the 2 and puts a lot more pressure on that defense.
Chubb is not going to get back to the line of scrimmage as they'll tackle him at the 3. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
Not only was that a terrific play, but that loss of yardage they created this close to their own goal line, that gives them a little breathing room now as they move them back.
And they're breathing fire a little bit right now, aren't they?
A lot of confidence being shown by them at this point of the game.
Only a yard there, so it brings up 4th and goal. Defense didn't budge on 3rd down. Now what are we going to see on 4th?
We are soon to find out, but does this feel like old school football or what?
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
It's an old-fashioned goal line stand. I know what I would call on offense. I would go for it. And I want some type of a play where my quarterback has a chance to run it or throw it. I don't just want one static play.
Can this defense hold them out? Here we go now. 4th and goal from the 2. Running for it. Here's Chubb. And he is not going anywhere. They stop him for no gain. The run is turned away on 4th and goal from the 2. And Washington is able to come up with a goal line stand. Well, they knew who to turn to on 4th down. Their horse, they needed the short yardage. He just couldn't get it.
And that's the surprise, because normally that's bread and butter for them, right? Hand it to the big guy, let him go, pick up the 1st down. Didn't get it there. All credit to the defense. Usually, even if they know he's coming, he can't be stopped, and they got it done on that play.
Now a handoff to start it out. Robinson. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
Really shouldn't be a surprise. It's going to be hard to move people in this situation. You know they're going to bring the pressure defensively. Because I remember playing in these spots, and my coaches always say, don't be afraid to try and create a safety, too. They're going to bring pressure.
And he will forge his way forward only up to the 2-yard line. The 2nd down play not much better than the first. Just a gain of 1 there. On 3rd down, Robinson. And they're able to corral him right around the 8, and that's short of the 1st down. It's a pickup of 6, but it's not going to be enough. And the punt team's going to be summoned on 4th down.
You know, we might start getting some props here in the booth. You know, that one that says the D and then the fence that you put up next to it? How about that? They brought out the jumbo package and still couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage enough to pick up that 1st down.
Impressive. They were ready defensively for that jumbo set. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. The offense trots back out there. Let's turn our focus now to Nick Chubb. Might he be on his way to a record-setting performance here, Charles? 2nd quarter, and the yardage number already ridiculous.
And they always talk about just focusing on the next play. But sometimes it's okay to dream big, because
I'm focusing on the 4th quarter already.
Listen, I don't blame you, though, because we could be witnessing some type of history here, and it's being done by him and, of course, the big guys up front who are creating the holes for him to run through.
Yeah, they've all been good so far. They go with Chubb on 2nd down. Fighting through and able to use the stiff arm to gain leverage initially, but not much room thereafter. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go. Watson. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And oh no, it's incomplete. Well, it's a touchdown if he holds on, but somehow took his eyes off of it, falls to the ground, and brings up 4th down.
Oh, that's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
And that is not going to get there. Oh, he missed it short. It's no good. But that's just a minor blip here in what's been a thoroughly dominating performance.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
Now the Commanders' offense set to take over. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a first down and get some momentum going. It's been a struggle for them throughout the game, and that 3 and out on the last possession, that told you just how stalled they are on offense.
So who will step up here? We'll see. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
At their 49-yard line.
Now they're going to motion Dotson to the left. And he'll get an opportunity with it on the touch pass. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
And this is just a little touch pass. They send the receiver in motion, just kind of tap it forward to him. Now, it doesn't turn into a huge play, but they do pick up a first down, a nice, consistent gain.
Now here's a little touch pass as they tap it quickly to their receiver. A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
And the defense, they get to Howell. Will go down here. Barreling in for the sack, Shoney Harris. But collectively as a defense, Charles, I think if you get 4 sacks a game, you're feeling really good. Now they have 6 as a unit.
And that type of a number, it's just staggering because there's so many ways to try and counteract it. But in this case, they've got no answers for this unrelenting pressure coming at their quarterback.
And he can only manage to take this thing to the 38, well shy of the first down. That one good for only 6, and it leaves him with a 4th down. So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And this one is no good. He missed it. And they will remain well behind.
Yeah, 55 yards is anything but a gimme. You got to really concentrate on your leg swing and proper technique. This time, though, he's unable to convert.
Another opportunity now for the Browns offense. And the last time that they were on the field, a little demoralizing. Missed field goal. You know, always feel like you want to get it in the end zone, but then, oh, well, at least we're going to get 3. Didn't go through the goalpost, so.
It does test the mental processes of a team, though, doesn't it? Because when you miss a field goal, it's amazing how fast they want to turn on the guy kicking the ball. But you need to keep his confidence up because how many times have we seen games where it comes down to a stretch? And guess what? You need that guy to make the big kick for your team to move on or to win a game. Make sure you keep him happy. Make sure you keep him comfortable.
I'm sure you always treated the kicker nicely, though, right?
You know, truthfully, I did.
Good.
I always did because those guys, they won us a whole lot of games.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. From the gun, it's a give to Chubb. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
You know, it's become cliche, but we have seen it and observed it. When runners have days like what we're seeing right now, they often take their offensive linemen out for steaks afterwards, don't they? They all go buy them dinner. But after a play like that, he might reduce it, might go to the corner and just grab a hot dog or 2, huh?
Hey, I mean, they've still been blocking for him. They've got his man complete. And this is cool. Touchdown, Cleveland. Amari Cooper, 35 yards. And the Browns continue to pull away here in this first half. The fly route works for the TD Graham.
And you know what the receivers love to say? If we get even with the defender, we're leaving. And that's exactly what he did. All the way into the end zone, and then he was on the business end catching it once he...
And now before we get to the extra point, remember all touchdowns do have to be confirmed by the replay official.
Under review.
They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How is the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Hopkins with the extra point, and a rout is on here in this first half.
44, Commanders nothing. Dustin Hopkins set to kick off.
Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. And they'll be set up with good field position here as he gets this up over the 40-yard line. The Washington offense set to take over again. And they've got to be a little bit frustrated about that last drive, missed field goal.
Always hurts a team because, you know, you've put something out there, you've given yourself a chance, you're in range, and the ball doesn't go through the post. But it's not something to panic about. I don't believe. Just keep playing and keep going.
Multiple rushers break through to drop him for the 7th time this game. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. Howell out of the shotgun. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up 3rd.
So when you have good field position to start a drive and you give up back-to-back sacks, that can be demoralizing for a team.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. And the pressure gets to him again. Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss. This offense continues to shoot themselves in the foot, and here another sack.
All game long, we've seen missed assignments, which have led to turnovers, sacks. This group has not played well at all here in the first half.
Let's take it inside his own 40. 7 yards on the return after a punt of 39. Here comes Amari Cooper and the rest of the Cleveland offense. He's doing what he's capable of, having a solid game. Not the most amazing game. He's not over 100 yards, but a good game so far.
And you just know that mentally, he feels like he's one catch away from turning it into a great game and starting on that road. And the defenders are well aware of that, too. They've got to figure out a way to not let that escalate. Keep it right in this zone here and call it a day, because otherwise, he can really decimate them.
Better believe they are well aware of his playmaking ability. Well, he's broken off some big-time runs here in this first half.
Yeah, and let's just face it. When you go into a game, you think you've got the plays that are going to work, but when you actually get out there and they're starting to happen, your confidence rises, and he's running with terrific ability right now.
Looking for more there on 1st down, but this throw downfield incomplete.
He certainly had a good game throwing the ball so far, but I think he was trying to take that from good to great with that throw, trying to get one downfield.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10, Watson. He'll let this go for the end zone. And that's going to be caught for the Browns touchdown. Deshaun Watson with his 3rd touchdown pass of his first half. And the Browns have widened the gap now to 50 points. Well, only the 2 catches for him thus far, CD, but both of them have resulted in touchdowns.
And I think he's on the bench right now, Brandon, smiling at his position coach and telling you, all those times you talked to us about efficiency, I'm living it right now.
Now it's Hopkins to add the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it was finished off by Elijah Moore on the touchdown reception.
Dustin Hopkins set to kick off.
Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. they're going to have really good starting field position here as that's taken up close to the 40. Back onto the field now, the Commanders' offense. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
Second down and a run by Robinson. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
And that's a nice pickup of a first down on that second down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
Back to Robinson now on first down. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 4 coming up.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to say.
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
And now the punter, Tress Way, as he sends this one away. The Cleveland offense ready to go. On first down, Watson looking deep in the direction of Cooper. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. He's to the 15. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Deshaun Watson, 4 touchdown passes now in the ball game. And the Browns are pouring it on. In the second quarter, and already his 2nd touchdown reception.
Absolutely the definition of a difference maker here in this first half. Clearly one of his quarterback's favorite targets in this game. And I figure he's going to draw a little more attention and coverage moving forward.
Here's Hopkins now for the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. And they're going to have really good starting field position here as that's taken up close to the 40. Set to go again. Here's Brian Robinson, the Commander offense. They're behind in the first half here, CD, but it's not to any fault of their running back. He's had a strong start to this one.
And you're right about that, partner, because watching him play, you would think that his team is in the lead. He has been a lot of fun in this contest. Now let's see if they can actually make something happen and put more points on the board behind his efforts.
Yeah, I'm curious to see, Charles, if they can play complementary football and get that passing game going as well. Powell. That one could. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And this is picked up by the Browns. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. There are 2 words that we hear coaches say all of the time. One starts with a B, one starts with an S. Ball security.
And they preach it. They have it up in meeting rooms, right? You see the signs. They talk about it all the time. But still, when you've got defenders out there who are preaching, hey, we're going to take the ball away from you, no matter what position you play, you've got to take care of the rock.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. Following the fumble recovery, Watson, he's looking deep for Bell. Oh, and that is incomplete.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
Here's Watson. On the Commanders are going to get there as he's taken down. Brought down by multiple defenders, and it's a loss of 12.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
Following that sack, Watson and the Browns backed up for a 3rd and long. A give running right is Chubb. And some room to maneuver. There he goes, right side. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle. But they allow the conversion. They call a run on 3rd and a mile. Not only do they convert, but they tack on some yards at the end of it, too.
They went against what anyone would think would be a tendency, which is you're going to throw the ball on 3rd and a mile, right? But instead they decide to run the football because sometimes what you get is the defense is playing a little bit lighter. A lot of extra defensive backs, and they're loosened up for the pass. They found some running room and really converted.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Watson. He's going to look end zone here for Cooper. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Looks like they went for the combo plate there. A nice ample gain on the ground on the previous play. Going for the big shot on that one unsuccessfully.
Back to the air, Watson on 2nd down. He's going to take a shot at the end zone. Why not? And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Not too many missteps in the red zone thus far. He was going for his 5th touchdown pass. His man couldn't shake free there, but boy, you know he's going to take another shot before this one's over.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. Pass complete. Now race for the marker. There's the stiff arm. And running with power here. The fake field goal catches everyone by surprise. And the Browns will extend their lead on the final play of the half.
On that 3rd down call, the goal was to get the ball to their tight end and pick up a 1st down, but he wasn't satisfied with just that. They got the 1st down. That was the gravy. He decided to take in the whole meal and rumbled in for a touchdown.
On is Hopkins now for the extra point. And the route is on here in this 1st half. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout. As we'll send you down to Orlando and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, back to you guys in just a moment, but welcome everyone to our Creative Village studios in the EA Sports Halftime Report. We saw a solid first half out of the workhorse Nick Chubb. He was loose in the secondary over and over and over again. He's got to be getting oxygen at halftime because he put up a month's worth of stats in 1/2 of a football game. Final adjustments being made for the 2nd half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Washington down on the scoreboard, but they are getting the football first here, and we are back underway on EA Sports. They're going to take this up close to the 40, so really good starting field position. First chance for the Commanders offense now as they head out for their opening series of the 2nd half. And they have a mountainous deficit looming in front of them. It was really, Charles, a disaster of a first half, so where do they go from here?
Well, first thing they have to remember is that what's done is done, and there's no going back. And now you have to play this drive by drive. Obviously, come back in this spot, pretty unlikely, but you just have to go out, take pride in your work, and try and put something together here in the 2nd half.
On 1st and 10 is Robinson.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Not a huge carry there on 1st down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on 2nd down.
They had 3 yards on 1st down, just 1 yard there.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Howell throwing on 3rd down here.
And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down.
Loss of 10 as multiple defenders get to him.
I know nowadays they give a lot of guys different things when they get to the sidelines after creating a big play, but just throw a cape on this guy because he single-handedly ended multiple drives. Interception earlier, sack on 3rd down. Really? Should have a better game plan to start how to contain him because he's affecting this game in so many ways.
Here's Trestway now as he's on to punt for Washington. This is taken at the 18. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field.
Watson and the Browns now with a 1st and 10.
At their 25-yard line. On play action, they'll throw.
They'll fire deep, looking for more.
And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Playing success in this game already. 2 touchdown catches, but that was a very dangerous throw. But you have to understand, with 2 catches already for touchdowns, they're going to try and force it to him at times as well.
And off his back foot, he'll heave this one deep. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Tough series for the passing game. Things just aren't clicking. Hopefully they can come through on this play and get this series back on track with a completion for enough yardage for a 1st down.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
The Browns send out their punter now. On, we think, to punt, though he's faked it earlier, but he was unsuccessful. And they're going to fake it from deep in their own territory. And this is caught, and the gamble pays off. They get the 1st. Defensively, a bit of a collapse, allowing the 4th down play to result in 23 yards. And I don't know what the method is to know when to dial up a fake punt, when not to, whatever the method there, it worked for him.
I think you actually did explain it. There is no method. It's just a feel, a sense, and a healthy dose of guts in order to call that play in that situation.
Element of surprise, I guess, right?
Yeah, element of surprise and just a strong belief in, hey, we're going to get it done.
On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Washington territory.
Cody Martin there to bring him down.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
Gets through, and now an opening. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. 23 yards on the pickup there and a 1st. They had a chance to limit his yardage, but he was able to fight off that tackle.
So it's not just the responsibility of the guys who missed the tackles along the way. It's all 11 on defense, able to stop this guy, unable to do it on that play. They've got to find a way. How about his ability to break through and gain that yardage?
A give. This is Chubb. Into the end zone. Touchdown. Nick Chubb, 25 yards. And the Browns just continue to roll.
Boy, another score. This lead gets even bigger. And Charles, we haven't even hit the 4th quarter yet.
Well, forget the deficit, right? They're really not going to cut into that a heck of a lot. But how can they get out of here with some dignity? Can they get a stop or two? Can they make a play on offense themselves? Anything to start to feel better about what's happened to them here in this one.
Extra point good by Hopkins. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter.
72. Commanders nothing. Dustin Hopkins set to kick off.
Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. So out comes Washington's offense to take over. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
The defense, they get to Howell. He'll go down here. A well-designed quarter blitz that gets him for a loss of 8 yards.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. That one downfield for Dotson. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Well, this is just a continuation of what we saw in the first half. So much for the fresh start to begin the third quarter. Still off-target throws, no rhythm throwing the football, and obviously no touchdown scored in this game.
Here's Tressway now, standing just outside his own goal line. And he'll take it just outside the 40. It's a 40-yard punt, but they lose yardage on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Now Nick Chubb and the Browns get set for their next possession. I guess it kind of goes without saying at this point, but he's had a great game, as we like to say, a nose for the end zone, no doubt.
Continues to find it throughout this game, and I'm sure he's got a nice place to live. He might want to make an offer on the end zone for a second home, because that's what it's been like throughout this contest. He knows how to get there, and boy, he looks happy when he does.
He's already bought all the property in the end zone. That's the problem. He's going to sell to himself now. This is 2nd and 8. Chubb running to the wide side. And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
On third down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the first down marker was and getting there.
They run it again with Chubb. And to the 36-yard line, taken down there after getting 8 yards.
And when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
Here's Watson. And this is caught. Touchdown, Browns. It's another touchdown pass for Deshaun Watson. His 5th of the afternoon. And the Browns have got it on cruise control.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Now it's Hopkins to add the extra point.
And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter.
Makes the score Browns.
5 plays there on that drive. And it ends with a touchdown for Cleveland.
Set to kick off.
Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away.
And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25.
A look at Washington as they come onto the field.
The disparity in this game, it just seems to grow with each possession here, Charles. They are really struggling. They have not put up a single point, and on the other side, the points keep piling up and up and up.
So you know the frustration level has to be rising, right? So they've got to find a way to quell that, because otherwise they certainly won't get anything done in this one. Keep diving deeper into the offensive playbook, but bottom line is don't quit competing.
Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
Now Howell. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
And you can tell just by looking at him that this offense is a frustrated unit. Things are really unraveling here, and as a head coach, time to earn your paycheck. You've got to find a way to keep it together, as that brings up another 4th down.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the Browns have a short field in front of them now as they take over 1st and 10.
And the football going back over now to the Cleveland Browns.
They'll start out here with the option left. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. Give him 10 yards on the keeper, and it'll lead to a 2nd down.
Well, partner, for a few years there, we thought this read option play was going to take over the whole NFL. It seemed like everyone was using it, but it has been scaled back considerably in the last few seasons, mainly because people are worried about their quarterbacks getting hit. But when you call it at the right time and you use it properly, you see the type of gains you can get. A nice chunk of yardage there by the quarterback.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Boy, that ball's just hanging up there waiting to be intercepted. That looked doomed from the start, but they took the deep shot anyway, and fortunately, it winds up incomplete.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A good chunk on the ground, and the keeper 17 yards, 1st down.
I'll tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react, even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL. They're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh my goodness, he's running with the ball. He may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
They give the Chubb out of the gun. And he gets it down close to the 10-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
That was a good run, and it got to the 2nd level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the...
And they'll take it into the end zone for the Browns touchdown. Nick Chubb taking it in for 11 yards out.
And the Browns get another 3rd-quarter touchdown to add on to that lead.
Partner, this running back's having a heck of a day on the ground. He just keeps punching it in and rushing for touchdown after touchdown.
Here's Hopkins now for the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter.
Makes the score Browns.
The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And Nick Chubb, the one to finish it off, as he does so with a touchdown run. Powers through.
They're going to take this up close to the 40, so really good starting field position. The Washington offense back out there. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
Second down, Howell back to pass. That's going to be caught by Samuel.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Out of the gun, it's Howell. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's going to have a Commander's first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Well, a lot of ground left to make up, obviously. A lopsided contest, and we're already in the third quarter. And they won't get it all back in one play or one drive. That's cliche, but it's true, Charles. If they down the numbers, there he goes. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. It's a gain of 35.
And they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last two possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
It went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
And he'll fight his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Only a gain of a couple there. That leaves him needing about 7 here on third down.
Back to throw, Howell. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on third down.
Field goal unit and Joey Sly now.
From the right hash here, should be an easy one.
Sly able to put this one through.
And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit.
Well, certainly happy they were able to force the fumble, Charles, but wish they would have gotten in the end zone, only getting 3 points there and still facing this second half deficit.
And they also will understand it's going to be a whole lot tougher to force another turnover the rest of the game, because that offense, they're going to be all about ball security from here on out.
And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23.
The Browns offense trotting back onto the field.
Watson and the Browns now with a 1st and 10.
At their own 23. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. His throw incomplete.
Well, the secondary's really struggled today, but that's a little bit of a measure of revenge, isn't it? And they just followed the basic rules. See ball, knock ball away, turned into a nice play.
Coming right, this is Chubb on the toss.
Now he's loose again. Nick Chubb. And he's going to get this all the way down to the 2 before he's wrestled out. A big play that time out of Chubb. 75 yards.
So all the way down close to the goal line. Good blocking up front. Helped to spring it.
When this drive is over, he's got to get to the bench and sing kumbaya with the offensive line, doesn't he? Big-time openings for him. Gets him all the way down to the 2-yard line. Let's see if they can pound it in.
After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. They'll run with Chubb. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
All of a sudden, those lanes that were there earlier in the drive dry up near the goal line. That's a good job defensively to diagnose the run and stop it for a very short pickup.
They'll give it to Chubb. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Deshaun Watson scoring on a 2-yard keeper. And the Browns will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd. And maybe the defense caught a little by surprise there that he took off and got in?
Yeah, I would think so, because if you're analyzing it from that side of the ball, you're thinking running back, fullback. It takes you a while before you get to the quarterback.
On is Hopkins now for the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. So that drive spanned 5 plays. And the final act belonged to Deshaun Watson in his touchdown run. And they got it. They recovered it. They hang on now, though. There's a penalty flag down. Yeah, you got to wait until that ball goes 10 yards. They did not. They hit it before, and that draws the flag every time.
And there's no doubt in my mind that converting an onside kick has never been tougher in the NFL with the new rules. So trying to get it to 10 yards, timing up perfectly, that's tough enough to begin with. But when you go ahead and grab it before it goes, you've got no shot then.
And good work there in open space. And he's got this all the way down now to the 32. It'll go as a pickup of 14 and a Washington 1st down.
Washington 1st down.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. And we're back now here in Cleveland. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Powell. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Powell, he'll look to throw it. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Zadarius Smith there getting in and bringing him to the ground.
Well, I wish his staff luck as they try to find positives about this performance by their offense as we move through the early part of the 4th quarter. That sack, the latest example. Down by a boatload, this offense simply can't keep up, and the quarterback is still taking hits. I'd get the backups in there if it were me.
Boy, tough spot here as they approach the line of scrimmage. A long way to go to try to pick up this 1st down. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. Now, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. And Charles, in a very one-sided affair, I think we've reached the point in the broadcast where you and I, we may have some filling to do, right?
Yeah, I think you're right about that because we got to try and keep people around. We don't want them to change the channel. Stay with us in this game. Is that Ben Ramsauer? Are you hearing from Ben on the headset here telling us stretch this thing out a little bit?
Get some talking points. Dig them all out.
That's what you get. A big-time producer. Keep them here.
They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete. Again from the 20 after the incompletion. Here's 2nd and 10. Throwing again is Watson. He's going to look deep for more. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit, but as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out because this one, it was over a long time ago.
And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on third down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, third down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. They'll go left side on the ground with Chubb. Shoves him aside. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. 25 yards to pick up there, and also a first down.
Brandon, every great running backs coach I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, you're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves, you're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's probably running them into submission.
I think you took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to use that phrase. He will run them into submission.
Wave the white flag.
12 more yards there and another first down.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. And he works his way free all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. 2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's second down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. And he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now.
No timeout. Out.
And again, it's Chubb. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. And Chubb, a 12-yard touchdown run. And the Browns continue to pour it on here in the fourth. Well, they were looking to pick up the first down on 3rd and short. They got a little more than they bargained for, finding the end zone as well.
And oftentimes in short yardage situations, you get a lot of defenders stacked near the line of scrimmage, partner. So if you can get past that first wave, there's usually room to roam, and he found it.
Now it's Hopkins to add the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. That time a 9-play drive. And Nick Chubb the one to finish it off as he does so with a touchdown run. Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. Well, another drive coming up for this Washington offense. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
And the defense, they get to Howard. He'll go down here. Myles Garrett, my goodness, make that now 5 sacks for him in this ball game. Really turning in an incredible performance. And you could say that is just another cherry on top for this defense and that entire team. but really this defense has sparked what's been an impressive effort here in this one.
And notice you used the word sparked, because you're not seeing that on the other side of the ball, are you? The offense right now, the spark has left their game, and it's been because of what you described, that defensive pressure.
Oh, Hal loses it. And this will be scooped up in the end zone. The defender gets there, and it's a touchdown.
Once that ball was loose, the question was, would this be 2 or would it be 6? It's 6. The defense able to pounce on it.
And from the offense, the training didn't really kick in, did it? Once that ball comes loose, you've got to get on it, make sure that you recover it, or make sure you punch it out of the end zone. Anything but give it to the defense to score a touchdown.
Here's Hopkins now for the extra point. And this hits off the right upright, but it finds its way through. Could have gone either way, but he got it to go.
Justin Hopkins set to kick off.
So here's the kickoff now as he'll get it again following that fumble return for a score.
They're going to take this up close to the 40, so really good starting field position. Now we get another look at Washington on offense. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD, but unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow. And a really nice play call there to start the drive, especially if you're a team that has a little bit of a reputation for throwing it downfield. You come out, and you think maybe you can catch them off guard a little bit, and they did. Little screen pass.
And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Miles Garrett in there to get him again. That is sack number 6. One off the NFL record of 7.
Well, it's an old chestnut, but let's face it, offensively, they've got to have some pride here because this has been a worst-case scenario all game for them. Keep putting in the effort. Keep trying to keep your quarterback upright and get through the end of this one as quickly as possible.
3rd down and 13. Howell from the gun.
And that is incomplete.
We're going to give out a little applause on that play. It has to go to the defense. More good work by them. They've taken away the passing lanes all game long, and you can see the frustration that it's causing because he just about threw that one into the first row.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he'll score. Touchdown. Mark that down as a punt return of 78 yards.
And the Browns extend their lead yet again.
Hopkins with the extra point, and this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. And they're going to have really good starting field position here as that's taken up close to the 40.
Washington ready to try again on offense. Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
They'll throw on 1st down. Here's Howell.
In trouble, and he's taken down.
Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play.
This certainly feels like complimentary football. Together in tandem now. Offense gets in the end zone. Defense with a big sack on the first play of the following drive.
Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. And Howe will throw it. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just talking about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
And the defense, they get to Howe. He'll go down here. Sione Takitaki able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Well, have a game, so why don't you? A sack earlier and an exclamation point here late in the game, and this one won by his side of the ball. They played so well, surprised he didn't get a 2nd sack earlier.
Here's Tressway now as he's on to punt for Washington. And taken right at the 35. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Cleveland offense making their way out. Well, CD, we are witnessing something that I never thought that I would witness. I would imagine you never thought this too. I mean, we have a team taking the field in an NFL game, and they are up by triple digits. I mean, 50 is a lot, but to get to over 100, this is just crazy.
We've seen in the history of the game of basketball a few people score 100 points individually, men and women.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown. Nick Chubb, 47 yards. And the Browns are pouring it on. When coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back to the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we have been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
Extra point good by Hopkins. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead.
Dustin Hopkins set to kick off.
Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And the Washington offense going back to work. Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. It's been that kind of a day so far throwing the football. It just seems like nothing going right offensively.
Yeah, it's a catch that should have been made, pure and simple. And look, everything else that goes into running a good pass route, throw it all.
And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Jordan Elliott picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Okay, I'm not sure you can actually draw a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
Now 3rd down and very long. Al now to throw it. Under pressure, and they got to him again. The corner blitz gets there as he goes down for a loss of 7.
Well, we all know this quarterback had to spend plenty of time studying prior to the game, but he has to be tired of seeing these guys, especially him. 3rd time now he's brought this quarterback down. Whole defense has had a great game, but 3 sacks, not hard to find who one of the leaders of that effort was.
Just a net of 34 there following a punt of 44 yards. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field.
Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate. But we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall. I know you're trying to wring every yard out of a run, but I think 9 yards there is ideal in this situation.
Yeah, now next couple plays, you'll only need 1 yard. Keep that clock rolling with a lead here in the fourth.
Yeah, what you're saying is maybe if it takes you 1 or 2 more runs to get the first down, that's extra time, extra plays, really hurts the team on defense.
That good for 19 and a first down. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Now Chubb running right. And he's brought down. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. He continues to be a major factor carrying the football here into the fourth quarter, Charles.
Another big gain on the ground. Big guys working strong up front. A lot of them not just taking care of business at the line of scrimmage, but getting into the linebacker spots and taking care of the second level as well.
And they're taking advantage of everything right now on the scoreboard with that lead. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit them, but now they got to get ready. It's first and goal. Chubb will score. Touchdown, Cleveland. So he had a nice run to get him down there. We'll stop just short of the goal line, but they go right back to him, CD, and he delivers to finish the drive off.
A little extra determination there, don't you think, partner? You notice he didn't tap on his helmet and say, get me out after the run down to the end zone. He said, I almost got in. I'm going to get in on my own. I'm staying in. And he carries it across the goal line.
On is Hopkins now for the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So that drive, 4 plays. And Nick Chubb, the one to finish it off, as he does so with a touchdown run. Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. Powering his way forward. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Greg Newsom.
And they will take over at the 29-yard line.
Another great play defensively. They've been sharp on both sides of the ball, Charles, but that interception means that this defense very well keep them down to single digits on the scoreboard in this game.
And that's certainly something to smile about, isn't it, partner, if you're on defense? Because your goal every game is to pitch a shutout, but you and I both know that's pretty unrealistic. But to hold a team below double figures in a game, in an NFL game, that's certainly something to take pride in.
Handoff comes to Chubb. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here is stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do, late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it, they've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock. Well, if you're going to run the read option, typically, you've got to keep an eye on the defensive end.
And what does that mean? What are you looking for with the defensive end?
Well, you want to play off of what he does. If he collapses inside towards the running back, then you pull it and take it yourself outside in. If he stays outside, you go ahead and leave it with the running back. In this case, pulled it and got good yardage himself.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
I think we all suspected that they were going back to him after he found the end zone on his last carry, and they kept the positive momentum going there. Another nice run by him.
2nd down, here's Chubb again. Shoves him aside. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And you wonder now if he might be able to remove the helmet, put on the baseball cap, and watch the rest of this one from the sideline. His 5th touchdown pass of the game.
Say that again. Did you say 5th touchdown pass of the game?
Yes, sir.
But that's a heck of a performance, isn't it? Because they've had no answer for him at all game long. Receivers have been open constantly, and he hasn't missed a single one of them.
Now it's Hopkins to add the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Just a 4-play drive that time. And Nick Chubb the one to finish it off as he does so with a touchdown run. And they're going to wind up with pretty good starting field position as they get it up past the 35. The Washington offense set to take over. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Here's Howell. And he can't hang on to it, and the screen never got started.
As soon as he leaked out and began his route, someone on the defensive side broke with him and arrived just in time to separate him from another reception.
Throwing here, Howell. And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. Picked off by Martin Emerson. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line. Well, my goodness, CD, I mean, this defense just continuing to dominate. They're really dominating on both sides of the ball, but for the defense, that's now 3 interceptions for them here in this ball game.
And what a great teaching tape for this defensive coordinator, right? When they go back and review this game, what does he always tell us that he preaches to his team? We're going to lead the league in effort. Well, they're doing that in this game as well as making big plays.
Ready to take over again on offense. Out comes Cleveland. And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable 4th quarter lead. And they'll begin by running the option. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be 2nd down.
Some teams like to start aggressive to begin a drive, but this is still what you expect to see in normal situations. Just call a simple run, get a few yards to begin the series, and set yourself up for something bigger on 2nd down.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away. A run for Nick Chubb. He stiff-arms him, fighting his way through contact. And they're going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just added their totals. And that CD, one heck of a run. He just refused to go down.
And that's where determination comes in, because he had at least a couple of guys had really good shots at him, but he just said, I don't think so. Speed, power, elusiveness, all on display right there. Look like you, partner, back in your salad days in Evansville.
Here's Hopkins now for the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead.
It only took him 2 plays there to find the end zone. The last one, the long run, getting him in for 6 points. Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. And they're going to wind up with pretty good starting field position as they get it up past the 35.
And the Washington offense heading out. Well, CD, it's all window dressing at this point. I mean, the best they can do is end the game with a nice drive to maybe build some momentum to move forward into their next contest.
Yeah, and with how lopsided this game has been, even one score might not do a lot of cosmetic good on the scoreboard, partner, because it's just about looking forward at this point. Get a touchdown here, give yourself some positive momentum and reps to focus on when you get back to practice in the next couple of days.
First down, Howell to throw.
Thomas brings it in. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40.
A gain of 14, first down Commanders.
Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now, because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
And the linebacker, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, on the tackle. Second down and 6 now. Powell.
And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack.
Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss.
On two sides of the ball cross purposes, because mercifully this game's almost over for the offense, but the defense, they still want to get a few shots in. Their front seven, they've loved this ball game. They've been able to pad their stats, and maybe some backups can get in and get a sack as well.
So here's a 3rd and 14. Powell out of the shotgun. And that's to the left sideline and incomplete.
And a smart play there. He's probably saying, I wish I would have done that on the last drive instead of throwing the interception.
Powell with one final shot.
One last shot at the end zone. And that will be incomplete. They were going for a consolation TD, but it was not to be. And time is run out now on this game.
So Cleveland able to come away with the victory here.
And it was a game where they were off and running in the first quarter, Charles, and never looked back.
You know, partner, after a while, we always say the same thing, don't we? They set the tone early, right? They started fast. I asked a few of my horse racing friends, do you have a term for me that we can use to cover that? And they said, yeah. When a horse breaks out like that, you say he caught a flyer out of the gate. And that's exactly what this team did today. I mean, they jumped out there, jumped on them, and were never headed.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. It's a win for the Browns, and they're happy in the dog pound as we say so long from Cleveland.
So I'm lounging around with my crew just chillin'. I'm wearing black and white, but I ain't no villain. When all of a sudden I get this rumbling feeling. It's my stomach, it's telling me I need to be grillin' some hamburgers, you know that big fat and juicy. The ones that be having you licking your lips profusely. And when you take a bite you no longer feel down, cause with that taste of perfection in your mouth you can't frown. Life's so good when you're eating a burger. It's so unhealthy, it's like artery murder. But you don't even care cause it tastes so good. It's like
Hamburger, hamburger, hamburger.
yum.
Hamburger, cheeseburger, Big Mac, Whopper. Hamburger, cheeseburger, Big Mac.